Test.
Jody, just a suggestion.
Oh, wait.
That somebody
Wait.
write out no audio on a piece of paper and hold it up. Oh,
It might be working
hold
now.
on.
Like, you saw that, right?
Yeah, here it comes up.
It might be working. Well,
I've just asked again.
the video's working, it's showing.
Yeah,
It's working. Yeah,
Okay.
it's working.
Just,
Just had a warm up.
Yeah.
Just when we were about to give up.
yeah,
Should have done that 5 minutes ago.
I know. All right.
No voting on this.
Yes.
Agenda item 4, approval of agenda. Mover. Seconded by? Be resolved that the agenda for April 9th, 2025 regular meeting of council be approved as presented.
As per the following additions.
Oh, as per the following additions and deletions.
Yep. And I have an addition for personnel in camera.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I also have an addition. I believe we had a first and second reading for the golf course. We haven't had a third reading yet. And that probably should have been in March, so third reading date for the golf course.
There is administrative work that needs to be done before third reading can be given.
Okay,
So at this
so next
time,
meeting?
that I do not have an exact timeline, but I will follow up with council after the meeting on that item.
Thank you. All in favor?
Oh, sorry, all in favor?
Next is the presentation. It's not a resolution.
Oh,
Yeah.
so just go off of here. Presentations start now, please. Councillor Boulanger? That's the correct way to say it?
Boulanger, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry about the wait, Rob.
No, it's okay, no problem. Thank you for having me today. Councillor Boulanger from Arma St. Clements, and retired conservation officer of 35 years. Retired in 2017. Long career in Manitoba and throughout the province. Born and raised in Selkirk, and this is sort of where the passion started for this initiative back in 1999. As a young officer walking the shorelines, checking fishermen and patrolling the area, all kinds of garbage left on the shorelines of our beautiful heritage river. We're talking garbage that would amaze you if you saw it. It was piles of garbage, it was refuse, it was couches, chairs, microwave ovens, fridges, construction materials, all kinds of things. The video did have some audio, that's okay. I'll just go through slide to slide. So something had to be done. Someone who grew up in the area in Selkirk, I knew something had to be done, and the opportunity was to maybe go to all the RMs and ask them if they knew they had a problem to start. And they knew they did, but there was no way really to solve it. So I suggested to the City of Selkirk, the Arma St. Clements, and the Arma St. Andrews at the time that if they all put some money in the pot, that I would organize a cleanup group and we would go out and we'd start to clean up the shorelines. 1/4 century later, 25 years later, this project is still going, and I hung on to the project, and even though I moved to different parts of the area as an officer, I was still able to operate the project because I never got transferred too far away. So up to this point, 1999 to 2024, last year was our 25th anniversary. The project has picked up over 1 million pounds of garbage off the shorelines of the Red River. 1 million pounds. Do you want to go to the next slide? That was actually the first 2 employees I had. I went through probably 15 employees. Oh,
I've got audio now.
okay.
What is going
I think we're in like a Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
We can't get out.
Did you want to just pause it for a second?
Yeah.
It's not rolling though, that's the problem. It's,
Sorry.
no, it's okay.
Do you want the audio?
Yeah, if you have, does it come across? No, just,
No, the best.
yeah, it's not that dramatic without the fish just coming out. So when I put this presentation together for the Fish Gala, it had audio to it, me talking here about the project, on the shorelines that it started, and then when it goes into these slides, it goes to some real ominous music to show how terrible the garbage was. So basically, some of the garbage was coming from fishermen, but the majority of it, as the slide says here, go to the next one. Most of the garbage was from stuff like this left behind by people just dumping their trucks. Next slide. And you can just keep clicking through the slides. It's just to show council what the project has picked up over all the years. Look at that. Keep in mind as you're watching these slides, this is only a snapshot in time. This is not 25 years worth of garbage. This is only, this is ice fishing shelters that were left on the ice in 2003. So we're only capturing a short portion of 25 years. Imagine what else that I'm not showing you. All these shelters that you see here, look at them.
They set fire to it.
Some of them were set fire to. They pretty much put the shelters on the river and basically walked away from them. I think the important thing that I'm trying to get across to your council today and to the arm of Winnipeg Beach, or how do you say it? Is it arm?
Municipality.
Municipality Winnipeg Beach, is everything you're seeing right here in these slides as we're rolling through. You know where it would have ended up if it wasn't picked up?
This beach.
On your beach and on your shorelines, because we all know how Lake Winnipeg works. Everything that comes down that river comes into the Lake Winnipeg, and the currents all take it to the shorelines. This all would have ended up on your shorelines and your beach. Don't ask me how some of this stuff gets here, but there's a fridge, there was a couch. Microwave oven just sitting there.
Can I make a suggestion on that? A lot of it, they're changing the rules now, like mattresses and some of the stuff you have to pay to dispose of now.
Yeah.
So it's easier to take it down the river and dump
Yeah,
it. Because
absolutely.
it costs you money to take it to landfill.
Definitely.
Councillor Belanger, were there any homeless encampments in the area that some of this
Yes.
furniture and stuff might have come from?
Yes,
Yeah.
some of it, but not all of it,
Yeah.
yes. A couple more slides and that's it. I think there's a few more after this. These are just some PSAs that were done that helped the project succeed. That's the last slide, but look at that. I actually picked that up. I didn't prop it there, that was there. And I thought, what a great way to end this slide by saying this is what people view the Red River as. So if you look at this project over a quarter century and look at what this project has done, it's still going. It's been sustained all these years, and how it works is the arm of St. Clements, the arm of St. Andrews, the City of Selkirk, Manitoba Hydro, and the Government Services Canada at the Lockport Bridge, the feds, they all put in money to support this project, and they have done that for a quarter century. And that was also the other acknowledgement I made in this presentation was the accolades need to go to those folks that are still providing funding to this project. The only way this project works is if that funding keeps coming in. Each one of those municipalities put in $3,000 a year, and it goes towards this project. We hired 2 workers that put out about 50 45-gallon steel drums at Lockport, all the way from the perimeter by East St. Paul, all the way towards the end of Main at Netley. 2 employees visit those drums every day from May to October, and they remove the bag and they physically pick up what's around the grounds. All that furniture and all those construction material supplies is what people are dumping just roadly, just going out and dumping, and that's what we're picking up. I guess the presentation today to you guys is, you know, would Winnipeg Beach be willing to partake in being a partner in the project? Mostly on the premise that for a quarter century, we have been keeping this stuff out of Lake Winnipeg, which otherwise, repeating myself, would have been on the shorelines in our Great Lake Winnipeg and the shorelines of Winnipeg Beach and your beaches. And that is the premise of me coming here today to see if Winnipeg Beach would be wanting to take part in a very unique environmental initiative that really, over a quarter century, has made a huge difference. And that is it. I'll leave it with you guys.
Go ahead.
I saw Councillor Belanger's presentation twice now at the Red River. I first saw it at a North Chapter meeting, and then the second time I saw it was at the Fish Gala a couple weeks ago. They are in need of money. I recognized what he was saving our community from and suggested he come and give us a presentation and perhaps ask for a give from council. We had a deadline, did we have a deadline for submission for grant requests?
Yes, the deadline was January 31st. However, we can always receive written requests to come to council.
Which would be, we need it, well, budget discussions are ongoing, so probably sooner rather than later. If you could submit something.
I will do that. I will
CAO?
submit to Jody, and the municipality of Winnipeg Beach can partake in whatever amount they feel is reasonable for that you guys can do to be part of the project.
Okay. I know it's a monumental endeavor, but what, as a conservation officer, what does conservation and including the RCMP, I mean, what resources do they contribute, especially to the ice fishing? These things have become villages now, you know, like the communities out on the ice. So I know it's difficult, again, it's monumental, but do we have RCMP out on sleds in the winter? Do we have conservation out there?
It's a very good question. I did this presentation yesterday to the Manitoba Fly Fishing Association in Winnipeg, and that was the very same question. Good question. As a conservation officer of 35 years and bringing and trying to prosecute people who leave refuse and garbage like this, it is very difficult in the court in Manitoba here. And I'll tell you why. I've charged so many people over the years for leaving garbage behind. When it comes to the court day, if they show up and plead not guilty, they've got the upper hand. And the reason being is all the magistrate needs to hear is the accused sit there and say, Your Honor, I was going to come back and pick it up in 2 hours. Done. If the accused doesn't show up, of course it's going to go default and they'll have to pay the fine. Majority of times when I'm charging people, trying to prosecute them, they'll come to court and they'll plead not guilty and they'll say, I was coming back for it, and the judge almost every time. You want to talk frustrating to an officer? That's frustrating. So on your note, that's part of the problem. Conservation officers are on the ice almost every weekend, and they will charge folks who are leaving refuse behind. But again, you've got to connect that refuse to that person. When these shacks are left, the law says, as most of you know, living on the lake and near the river, ice fishing shacks need your name and address on them so we can identify them as officers. A lot of times people put not their name because they don't want their name on them. What I've been pushing for since I left uniform, and I'm still pushing for now and we're coming close, is that anybody who wants to put an ice fishing shack on Lake Winnipeg or Heritage River, is you need to register it. So you get a little license plate with a number, whatever it is, 692. That 692 number is referenced to me. If I registered it, Rob Belanger. When a game warden comes along, he checks that number, it's Rob Belanger, there you go. So there's a small fee that comes with that, but at least that way, people have to register the shack and there's ownership to it and accountability.
Have you thought of putting through a resolution to AMM on that? I mean, you as a council, yeah.
I could, but is it an interest of the RM?
Well, if you want to change, so to speak.
Well, it would have to be something that goes to the province of Manitoba.
Exactly, but it could be presented to the province.
It could. It could
In the fall.
Through the municipality,
And
yeah.
you could and we could back up support on that as well.
Yeah, no, it could.
And on the other side of the lake, you got a truckload on Traverse Bay and everything.
Chalet Beach on your side, Balsam Harbor on our side, they are two areas.
You know the hot spots anyways as an officer. So.
I know thousands of people out here all year, and let me put it to you this way, it has gotten better. Because a lot of these fishermen in 2003, when that debacle of all those ice fishing shacks, that's just when the fishing forum started on the computers. It started going, and they policed themselves, and they actually frowned on those folks. And I'm not saying it's all fishermen, it's a small minority that are doing this. It's only that small group that caused
It's always
problems.
small.
It's always a small group. So,
There must be quite the cost to get rid of all this garbage as well. Where does it all go?
well, that's on the good graciousness of the Arm of St. Clements, because all of the garbage goes to their transfer station and to their Class A landfill. Yeah, and with no fee.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's, yeah,
And there's, when I say this, there's hazard involved for the people that pick this stuff up.
there is. I mean,
There's a lot of hazard.
there's a lot of stuff that we've picked up there. There's a lot of material that is biohazards, the fridges, the
Especially
sharks.
now, because again, as mentioned, I mean, it costs money to get rid of some of this stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So I think what I'd like to, oh, sorry.
Yeah, no problem, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I just want to reemphasize the importance of what this project has done to mitigate it coming down the river and into the lake. Anybody who's here today, if you live along the lake, trust me, this, and I'm not sure if all you've seen the pictures, but this would have ended up in your lake. and on your shores.
And what is the cost of this per year, and how much are you funded by the province or feds?
So it's very ebb and flow, and even though I've been doing this for 25 years, it's always been a struggle to find enough shekels. Last year, I couldn't find two people to do it. I was out by myself picking up this garbage. My wife was beside me helping me. So I'm like a dog in a bone. I'm not gonna let this project go. It's been a quarter century. I'm gonna keep going. This year is getting better. It looks like I got somebody to work. The project runs on about a $30,000 budget. We pay the employees $18 an hour, which is decent. Usually somebody either not working or on welfare. I don't mind using students sometimes, but it's hard to get that work ethic out of them. So that's the budget, and we pay them. We put gas in the vehicle, we buy supplies. At the beginning of every year, right now, I'm just sending invoices out to all the partners that are involved. Black Cat Blades in Selkirk, who make the greater blades, they just came on board as a partner. So I'm continually trying to find more people, more government businesses, industry. Grudeau, the steel mill in Selkirk, was a partner. City of Winnipeg was a partner. Real sore spot on my side that I'm trying to get the City of Winnipeg back on board. City of Winnipeg, there's a lot of effluent and a lot of material that are coming down from Winnipeg.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Trying to get them on board again. So these are things that I'm still trying to work on.
So have you engaged with the province at all?
The province has given project money through me applying for grants occasionally, the Fish Futures grant, all these little grants, but I got to apply for these grants. I have a meeting coming up with the minister, and my pitch to him, I've met the premier a gazillion times as an officer and many times as an elected official. And I've told Mr. Canoe, I've told Mr. Dewar when this project started, I went through all kinds of premiers and talked to him about it, that eventually this should be a line item in the provincial budget. This project hasn't been here for 5 years. This project hasn't been here for 8 years. This project has been here for a quarter century. I think the province would be confident to know that they should be putting a line item in their budget that they should be giving $5,000-10,000 to this year, to this project every year.
Not only that, you got all this stuff coming down from the States. Icebreaker.
Yeah, it's trying to pull teeth sometime. So it's an ongoing battle that I have. I'm always trying to look for funding. There's been years when the project just started that I was using my own vehicles just to keep it going. You don't have to do that anymore, but yeah, I'll see where it goes. But
It's exacerbated by floods too.
yeah,
Excuse me, Doug.
Depending on how much you have.
yeah.
Excuse me, Doug, I've had my hand up for
Oh, sorry, I didn't
half an
realize.
hour. I think it's a great project. I commend you for doing what you do. Is there any of these projects on the lake? Or you're just doing just specifically the river?
So
To keep it out of the lake, I was.
that's a good question. So this is coming on the river to the lake, and I'm stopping it before it gets here. But the lake itself does have issues, especially during the ice fishing seasons, right? We all know that. Chalet Beach, Balsam Harbor are the main entry points. It was suggested that we run this program in the winter from, say, when the ice makes in January through till now. Put some barrels out there. Those ice fishermen would use them. That would take me having to employ somebody again through the winter. The budget would have to change. Good question, but yes, wouldn't that be wonderful if we could do this in the winter on the lake?
So we could have volunteer committees out here cleaning it up, which we should have. I'd participate in it.
Yeah,
But what you're doing is great. It's keeping a lot of the garbage out of our backyard. You know,
yeah,
everybody knows we have an awful pile
we do.
coming in here.
That's a very good point you made too. I'll just touch on that. I forgot to mention that. So over the years, I have gone to various schools. I've gone to the middle year school in East Selkirk. I've gone to Lockport Junior High. Loaded up a bunch of kids onto a bus. They got a free hot dog in Lockport, and we gave them bags and gloves, and they all went out and picked up garbage. Not only did it show them volunteerism, philanthropy, and learning about the environment, they went home after and told their parents, "Oh my God, you can't believe what we did today." So this program has actually got into the schools to try to show these kids what they should be doing about the environment and learning about what's actually out there. And they're like sponges. They will soak this up. So that's a very good point. And on the volunteerism portion, the Winnipeg Fly Association that I presented to you yesterday, the Boy Scouts, we've all met at Lockport, had a barbecue, and we try to get those folks involved as well. People can go to the Arma St. Clement's website, look at my name as Councillor Boulanger. I'm still working on the website for this. It's had to be redone and it's not up yet. where when it's done, people can go to the website and they can put in if they want to volunteer. So if there's a group from Winnipeg Beach that wants to link up with me, my guys can drive out here on a Sunday, meet up with your volunteer group from Winnipeg Beach, and we can meet here and maybe do some walking on your shorelines. Absolutely.
Sounds great.
Yep.
Sorry, Doug, I cut you off.
Oh, no, I was just, yeah, you answered my question anyways. The flooding exacerbates it.
It does. In the
Oh,
spring,
yeah,
Like,
of course.
well, the flood in '97, one of the things they said, that because it was flooding farms and garages and that, there was chemicals and stuff, there were drums of oil and
Yeah.
things floating in the red.
yeah. So I'll leave it at that. I'll send Jody an email, and I'll leave it to you guys to chinwag it and decide what you want to contribute. And if you contribute, if it could be something that you guys could continue every year, that would be wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for your presentation.
Thank you
It's
for the
great.
invite. Thank you.
I'll just take a minute to,
I should just grab my stick, Jody.
yep, just give me 1 second.
Thanks, Jody. See you guys.
See you later. Thank you.
Yeah, it's better, easier not to burn.
Thank you.
Oh, there's a lag in drinking water. Are we ready?
Ready?
Okay. Agenda item 6, confirmation of minutes. Anybody want to move it? There. Seconder? Be it hereby resolved, the minutes of the March 26, 2025 regular meeting be approved as circulated. Call for the vote? Or sorry, sorry, questions on it?
No, good.
Oh, call for the vote?
All in favor?
Got it right, on order. Too late for that ship sailed. Agenda item 7.1, accounts payable approval. Be it hereby resolved, the council approves the accounts payable listing being check number 24158 to number 24216, inclusive of checks, electronic payments, and payroll issued in amount $109,100.32 as circulated. Madam Over, any questions? That's after the.
After.
Okay. Sorry. Any discussion?
Yeah, I got a question regarding check 24213. I was just wondering what repairs are being done right now in the community center.
Just give me 1 moment to
Okay.
pull it up. So that is for the basement repairs. They're currently working on accessibility
Okay.
for the washroom facilities in the basement.
Okay. Then my next question was 24214. Do we know how much money we actually collect from coffee sales?
I can gather a report on that
Okay.
if you're wanting a cost comparison.
Yeah, please.
For sure.
Thank you.
Anybody else? We're good? All in favor? Thank you. Item number 8.1, business license bylaw proposal. Be resolved, the council direct administration to prepare an updated draft business bylaw to remove provisions regarding outdoor mobile food vending units. Got a mover? Seconder? Any discussion? Giver,
Why are we doing that?
for food trucks and food trailers, hot dog carts,
It says to remove them from the business bylaw.
so we can bring that in.
So currently, regulations with regards to mobile food vending units is lumped within our business license bylaw. It is not its own separate piece of legislation.
And our intention by having a separate piece of legislation is,
To have food trucks,
That would be council's.
trailers.
so we're proposing a separate bylaw for it, as opposed to ones in the past. It's just a question, I'm not here to argue, I just want to know why.
Changing the bylaw?
I would say changing it, not a second one.
Well, how are we gonna govern food carts then? Well, if we don't have any sort of a bylaw that gives us some sort of a guideline on
We
food,
make the guideline.
but then we need, if you're gonna take it out of the bylaw, where are we gonna get another bylaw for it? Because it says in the bylaw, it says that we need they need permits from the Board of Health, and it has to be approved by the Health Department and so on and so forth. So if we take that out, how are we gonna monitor food carts?
When we put that back in.
Put it back in where?
Well, so if we're removing the carts, to my understanding, I would say it's to allow carts. So basically, shouldn't everything sort of stay the same if we pull one out and we bring another one back in?
I'm gonna yield to Gene, I don't know.
Councillor Plotton, Mayor Plotton, I'm not sure if you're familiar, we've had some preliminary discussion. I believe Councillor Jarvis, Hull, and Kozlowski, if I'm correct, we got through phase 1. We started phase 2. And I'm not sure where we got with phase 2. But I would like to request that this is first heard. Could we defer it and get administration to get us up to date on where we were? The reality is hot dog carts are a fairly contentious issue in this community. We were looking at a couple of pilot projects to substantiate whatever decisions or changes were made. So my thought is we maybe need to relook at that before we make any decision on what we're gonna do, is just my thought. And then you'll be brought right up to date on where we were with what we were at, as far as discussions and information that was collected.
Actually, I know where we're at. We're at talking about phase 2. That's what it is. We did phase 1, that was for over at Ruby's. She had a hot dog cart there. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. I would like to see them, and every single person I interviewed loved the idea of it. Because we cannot feed our tourists. So if we can't feed the tourists, are they gonna keep coming?
It's not a question of whether you love it or you hate it. And for the record, and I've said this copious times, I'm not against food carts. But there are regulations from the Board of Health that says all food service establishments must be approved and permitted by a public health inspector. All mobile food service require a health permit from Manitoba. All mobile food service require equipment that is needed to support. All mobile food, there are laws that govern these things. And if we're gonna take it out of there,
Well,
we
that's
need
a
to
good
put it
thing.
somewhere else. It's not that people are against it. I mean, and I bet this has been an argument with me for, I'm gonna say 15 years. I go back as far as Kerry Lawless. It says right in there, and in our own bylaw, that either the bylaw officer or the CAO have to inspect each and every food cart before it comes in to make sure that all of their permits are in place, all their health certificates are in place. You can't just remove something from a bylaw and say, well, we're going to get to that later. Nobody's against food carts here, but they have to play by the same rules that everybody else
So
does.
of course, so why don't we play by the same rules?
We are playing by the same rules.
So what can be done is council can look at introducing a a different bylaw that will specifically regulate mobile food vending units before removing it from the business license bylaw to ensure that there are provisions in place before we remove that other piece of legislation.
Sounds good to me. Go ahead.
This is the last one from, this is January 2019, and this is right from the Manitoba Health Department. In recent years, there have been a number of large outbreaks of disease associated with mass gatherings, petting zoo, and cultural events. The purpose of this guideline is to provide information to festival organizers regarding the provision of safe food, water, and sanitation facilities at large outdoor events such as fairs or festivals. And that includes food carts. This has been going on, and all I'm doing is saying before, it's just a matter of time, and even during boardwalk days, and we see the food court out there with all the mobile units, and I've seen them cooking food on hibachis on wooden stands on the parking lot. Like, that it has to be governed by somebody. There has to be, no different than what Councillor Belanger was saying, is that we've got to get name, address, and a permit on the shack. If we don't do it, we're just asking for trouble, and I'm not against food carts, but if we're gonna do it, have at it, Mayor Potton. Let's do it and do it right. If we're gonna take it out of there, then let's create a separate bylaw that governs these things.
I would believe that's what our CEO just
But
said.
that was my original question, is we're gonna take it, what are we gonna do with it? We wanna remove it, but we don't wanna add it anywhere.
I understood that.
Well, it says, the resolution was to remove it from the bylaw.
For not being able to have food
As
carts.
soon as we take it out of the bylaw, if we don't get to this till July, then Boardwalk Days is come and gone, and we've had 10 trucks out there that nobody's controlling.
So let's do it by the next meeting.
And put it, like, as Councillor Gendron, defer it to the next meeting by all means, and let's
I'm
do
not
the
saying
research
defer
on
to the
it.
next meeting.
I mean, I've done this
That's
for
our
10
ducks in
years, so.
So I'm going by what the
Yeah.
people, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd just like to comment on that. Administration does already have a heavy workload. This is an ongoing project, as per the pilot projects. And that, by putting it on the next meeting, I don't know if it would be fair and equitable to allocate such short time for us to have that ready at the next council meeting.
So obviously.
Because our next council meeting is Wednesday.
So you're not in favor, from your workload, you're not in favor of that.
It would give me 4 days to get it done.
Okay, so here's where I'm at. This is spring, like we're as close to spring as you're gonna get without the water running, right? Or what's the point of waiting until July? If we wait till July, we're gonna get to come out, everybody's booked. And we need to be able to feed people and local people. And it's proven, when you bring in outside food equipment, the population goes up of tourists, holidayers, whatever, the other businesses go up with it. They get more customers, not less customers, more customers. So it hurts nobody.
If we leave it where it is, you can put food carts out. There's nothing that says that you can't. The bylaw says you can do it. The only thing that it's missing on the bylaw is it's missing the certificate, the permit, not the health certificate, the Board of Health. It's missing the permit. It has to be inspected by the Board of Health. And that's what stopped the Kiwanis Club. They used to have the fish and chip vehicles, as both of their mobile units couldn't pass the test from the Manitoba Health. So ergo, they had to take them off the street. It's in there. So let's make sure in that bylaw, if you leave it alone and we do it the way it says, you can put a dozen carts on the street. That's the next question. Where do you want to put them? It doesn't say you can't have them in the bylaw.
What's the bylaw read? I thought it says we weren't allowed to accept
Nope.
these. I remember last year when you were talking about it.
No, that was a pilot project for the as Councillor Sandra mentioned, for the farmers market.
Councillor Jarvis, please.
Yeah, I'm listening.
I remember you saying they can come out 2 days a week from 4 till 8 and sell gyros or something like
Yeah.
that. Nothing like what everybody else has. I remember that. We can go back and find the video. So you kind of are against them.
I'm not against them. Don't accuse me of being against them. I'm going to tell you right now, I said 4 to 8 because these people said everybody closes early. I said to bring them out 4 to 8. Take it in context. The context was, if these people close at, say, 6 or 6:30 or 7, and they do, then bring them out and late. And I think it was Councillor Hula that suggested bringing them out, and they can be there till 10 o'clock for all I care.
Okay, so I misspoke.
The only thing that I've ever been against is when we say that, and you're right, to some degree you're right, the current, and then I'll go back 15 years. when you put 3,000 people on that beach, you can have 100 restaurants there, and they're all, every one of them. I've seen the lineups on the food carts, 45 minutes long. We need more, and you're right, you're 100% correct.
Here's
But
the
there's
thing.
nothing in this
We don't
bylaw that
have
says you can't
45
have them.
Food carts.
What's
So
that?
if we don't have 45 food carts, so if there's nothing in this bylaw about it, why don't we add to it what Councilor Jarvis was talking about? To get them inspected. Can't we add that to the bylaw and have,
I've asked for this copious times, and Councillor Gendron has her hand up.
oh, sorry, there was no back.
There is a limitation to the use of them. Outdoor mobile food vending units, in the bylaw, outdoor mobile food vending units shall operate only if the unit meets the criteria for its legal operation, which would cover what Councillor Jarvis is addressing. And during boardwalk days and during the times indicated on the application to operate an outdoor mobile food vending unit or to any other special event as may be permitted by council resolution, and during the times indicated on the application to operate an outdoor mobile food vending unit, or if the owner/operator of the mobile food vending unit also owns or leases an existing and property licensed food service establishment, and the mobile food vending unit is located on the same or adjacent property as the existing food service establishment, and further provided that the adjacent property is owned or leased by the owner or lessee of the existing food cart. So we do not have people who own food carts right now do not have the ability to come in and operate in our town unless it is during boardwalk days or any special event as designated, or they own an existing business. That is why, if my memory serves me correctly, we got to part B or part 2 of the pilot, which was we were going to be, the suggestion was allowing, and I could be wrong on the specific details, but I thought we were going to be allowing 2 food carts on Main Street when we had bands. And the suggestion was that they could stay, that if they were gonna come, they had to stay, or we wanted them to stay until 10 o'clock. So there is currently, Mayor Potten's correct, there's no provision in there right now to allow food carts other than under those parameters that are in the bylaw, and the one that was approved at the, for Ruby's, and that was approved under the first section of our pilot. So I would ask, would administration at least have the time to bring forward the information as to where we were at and what the recommendations were in the second phase of the pilot, so that we can have some discussion at that point? Would it be doable for administration to get that information together?
I don't see a problem with it, but all we're doing is
Well,
putting it off another couple of
no.
weeks or a month, because she has a lot of work already, and it's going to be summer, and why don't we have it so they can come any day?
Okay, so
Why just
Mayor
special
Potten,
events?
what I'm asking is, the CAO has already indicated it's not feasible for administration to get anything prepared with a bylaw for the next meeting.
Okay.
So what I'm asking is it feasible for administration to be able to get the information available for council, for us to relook at where we were at in the pilot process, so that we can have some meaningful discussion on what are we gonna do?
So we know where we're at, and I wasn't even here, and I know where we're at. Why don't we talk about where can we go? Not where we're at. Can we go forward with this, or is there a majority, a minority? What is there?
Well, there was some decisions made by council in relation to the second phase of the pilot, and we don't have that information in front of us. And so all I'm asking is, in order for us to figure out where we're gonna go and how we're gonna go, does administration have the time to get that information together for us before the next meeting, so that we can look at it at the meeting and discuss where we're going?
Okay. Do you feel it, you can go next, I'm just gonna ask you, do you feel there's time for the next meeting? Or is this putting another workload on?
It is, as with any agenda item on the council table. That being said, I'm sure I can find some documentation on what the outcome was for phase 2, because there would be some documentation on that. And I should be able to prepare a brief report on that.
Go ahead, Doug.
I'm not sure, can we get, maybe it's just legal mumbo jumbo, and I hear what Councillor Gendron's saying, but I don't think it just applies to boardwalk days. I think that it's, the way that thing reads, it can be any time. It says outdoor mobile food shall operate only if the unit meets criteria, which is what we're talking about. And the inspectors would be Jody and/or the bylaw officer. And then it says, and during boardwalk day, and during times indicated in the application to operate. So if they say they want to be here on a Friday night, every Friday night or every Saturday afternoon, I don't know. Can we get somebody to dissect that legal mumbo jumbo to see if we can do that?
Go ahead.
Or could you just include the application so that we can see it when we're discussing this at the next meeting?
Yeah.
To see what it says?
Yeah, is there anybody we can consult on that? Because I think that, I don't read, you know what, and you could be right.
As maybe
I don't know that it
Councillor
reads
Jarvis,
that
I don't
way.
know what the application itself says.
Yeah.
So if we had a copy of that as well for
I didn't know
discussion.
it was an application.
Yeah.
And again, really, the only thing that's missing is the permit. The bylaw reads, and let's pretend for a second that boardwalk day is right. It reads well, the only thing you need is the permit to operate the vehicle itself. That's not included in the bylaw, everything else is in there, so.
Yeah, I can provide that information along with
So
the
that makes
update
sense.
to phase 2.
But can I also say, at the next meeting, when we're discussing this, can we move forward and have a vote on
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
It's,
it? Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, well, you would discuss that.
Oh, we have to
You would-
change the bylaw.
Well, you would make that
Amend the
decision
bylaw.
at the meeting. We can't prematurely make
Yeah.
that decision ahead of time before the information is available.
Okay, makes sense. Oh, sorry, Ed.
Yeah, I don't think anybody is against more food carts in this town, especially the people, tourists, etc. I think what has to be done is the provisions that have to be worked out, like the inspections and everything's on there.
I'm in agreement with
You
you,
know,
but I just don't want to go till July and then we
Yeah.
go, well, yeah, okay, we'll try one.
I'll just say the last thing is that I can go back 4 CAOs and 2 or 3 rec directors before this has been a problem. And I remember I was so mad one time, I went around when they used to have the food court on Center, and I asked people for their permits and their licenses, and 3 trucks disappeared overnight because they didn't have them. They're supposed to post them, and they weren't there. And I was mad as an operator that people can come in and sell food and they don't have to meet the same criteria that the rest of the bricks and mortar have to meet.
But we'd have to meet it.
But
We'd
that's
have
my
to
saying,
meet
is
it before we let them in.
on almost every meeting since I've been a council, I say that we have the people that are supposed to inspect this and we choose not to inspect it. We know the rules that are supposed to apply and we choose not to apply the rules. And that's what people are angry about. I'm not angry that you have a food cart, I'm angry that you can play with different rules than me, that's what I'm angry about.
Well, everybody's got to play by the same rule book, right?
You don't get to drive the speed limit on Highway 9 that you feel that you can drive. You drive the same posted speed limit that everybody else does.
You're making sense. I mean, I'm in agreement for that. I just don't want to see this go on all summer and
No,
I just don't. And that's my opinion. I mean, maybe you use all want it to want it somewhere, I don't know. But, yeah, I can live with that. I mean, it's not for me. It's for our community. Okay, Joe, you're.
So just to clarify, the resolution that's on the table for council discussion, we will be tabling that resolution until a report is brought forward.
I would say yes.
Okay, if you
Right,
want
Drew?
to, if everyone wants to agree to table it.
Okay, everybody in favor of tabling?
Yep.
Okay. I would say that's a pretty good first step. Agenda 9.1, Council Computer Reimbursement Policy 2025-05. Be it hereby resolved that Council approve Policy 2025-05 being the Council Computer Reimbursement Policy for the Town of Winnipeg Beach. Reimbursement Policy, sorry folks. Mover. Any discussion?
Sorry, I didn't
Oh.
catch the seconder.
Oh, Barry.
Okay, thank you.
No, I like it.
So just to provide an update, I added in a provision for the computer antivirus programs for an annual reimbursement of $200 per year.
Or less.
Yeah, or less, but up to $200.
I seen it, but I'm good with it.
Just sorry, I do have just a comment on that. As
Not
was
too
mentioned
sorry.
as was mentioned at the last meeting, this came as a result of some issues that were happening. I'm just wondering if we perhaps, based on that, actually need to make it a requirement, not just an option to purchase, but a requirement for safety of the town's systems. Any thoughts on that?
Does anybody have a recommendation here for whatever? Should we all get the same one? Should we?
And I'm not necessarily saying everybody get the same
No,
one,
I'm not against it.
but just that it be a requirement that you have it, not, it's not optional, that we should actually
Totally
be
fine with
required to
that.
have it.
If council wishes, we can prepare a policy that would mandate all members of council
Okay.
to maintain a active antivirus program on their computer used for council purposes. If everyone's in agreement?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
so just a policy though,
Yeah.
so we can approve the resolution.
So we're just gonna finish this one off, we're good?
Yeah, this one you can proceed with if council wishes to choose. The antivirus one would be a separate policy because it doesn't pertain to the reimbursement.
So we've all agreed on this, no more discussion, all in favor? Thank you. Excuse me for a second.
This check.
Agenda 9.2, council meeting technology recordings. Be it resolved, the town of Waterloo Beach direct administration to proceed with option / to implement / Mover? I gotta look this way more often, because you guys are getting it wrong.
And moved.
Doug moved and Barry second. I gotta sit with this.
I have a question.
Give her.
The breakdown on cost on option one, I didn't, if we record them and then post them, was that included in that costing on option one, or was that, would that be a separate costing?
So the cost to record separately to upload after would have very similar to the same amount of time to establish the live streaming.
Yeah, and I like that because we would have to purchase a camera and everything else, and I always yield to you because you know this. Ballpark, what do you think to pre-record this stuff?
Well, again, it's all about time and how large the files are and, you know, that sort of thing. And it's also the time of, you still gotta have somebody operate the machinery, like the, you know, the camera recordings and make sure it's working. Like today, have some technical knowledge
Yeah.
on the software we're using. Like today was unexplainable why it all of a sudden just started working. You know, that said, with the survey we had, you know, 80+% of people or 90% of people still want to have it live streamed. I mean, I brought it in and I love having it. I think it's great for the public. It's also good for people to look back, you know, if they want to.
Oh yeah, I like option one. I couldn't differentiate between.
Yeah.
Do we have? And I'm not looking to edit it because I know some people have accused of editing it.
Yeah.
Editing it. I like either or. We either continue to live stream or we record and post.
Yeah, I think what we're gonna have to do is get a secondary unit. It won't be as much as it says here, like for hardware. we're probably looking at about $1,600 for hardware, which is gonna add a secondary unit, which gives us double the audio coverage and double the video coverage, right? And then I found some software that we could utilize that is $9.99 a month. And that gives us, you know, free updates, all that, you know, tech support, that sort of thing. Because when we're using the software we're using now, there's not a whole lot of support with it. It's kind of learn on your own. There is other software out there, but it's kind of, it takes a lot to learn. It's kind of in-depth stuff, right? And I want to keep it simple. So there's 2 or 3 options that we can go with. But I think you know, the $9.99 a month option is where we should go if we're going to continue to live stream video and have a secondary ALLO unit, so we get double the coverage. Yeah. Otherwise, you're looking at getting a different camera, and those are about $3,000.
So
Per
what's an
camera.
owl worth roughly?
16.
So, I mean, we're looking at, I think it's mentioned here at 7,200 total estimated.
Yeah, high.
Is that high for
cost.
us?
That's high.
So, 5 bones or less?
Yeah, definitely less. Yeah.
I'm good with 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to catch me up here, I get it. So there's 1, 2, and 3, correct?
For options?
Yes.
Those are just as talking points for council.
Oh, okay.
If you would like to propose another option, then you absolutely can.
Oh, no, I don't have another option.
Yeah.
I'm good with new equipment, and I'm good for keeping it going.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts. So, I guess, is that enough discussion? Do you want some more discussion?
Do we like option 1?
Yeah, I think option 1 is kind of where we're at.
I'm good with 1.
Yeah.
If we're under 5 bones, and you think it'll be even maybe possibly cheaper than that.
Yeah. It will be.
And that's one that keeps us going all the time with more equipment and updated. Correct? Okay? Anybody else? Discussion? All in favor? I don't know what to put here in implement, I just put option 1. I'll let you finish there.
And that was called to question, all in favor?
I'm sorry? Yeah,
Okay. That's carried.
yeah, I never said that carried. I wrote that in. I actually don't think I said carried. Okay, excuse me. Agenda 10.1, Medical Clinic Committee. Whereas section 4.7 of the organizational bylaw 2-2023 states a special council committee, subcommittee, or board may be created at any time and shall be appointed by resolution of council at any time specifying the business to be dealt with by the committee. Therefore, be it resolved, the council approves the creation of a medical clinic committee, and be it further resolved that members of council shall sit on it as representatives. So, I'm going to move by Doug. Seconder, Meyer. So I guess the first question is, well, there's two questions. Do we want to do it, and how many people should sit on it? So I think how many people should sit on it should be kind of first.
What's the purpose of it?
Yeah, I would provide an update to council on this
Okay.
item, so they're updated.
The purpose was, before I was in here, there's no that I got them from 3 days to 5, right? I got a doctor and a nurse on the weekends. So we're covered 7 days a week with one. Regional Health wants us, our town, to have our nurse practitioner train 2 new nurse practitioners at the same time. They're done all their schooling, but they have to go out and do their practicum. And they want Andrea to be the head of it. So it requires more space. So there was a store right beside our clinic that they just have to cut through the wall and then make the space for 2 more examining rooms and an office. They don't have an office. And the health authority there, they want this done. They just have a new director starting April 28th. They have to bring her up to speed, so it's got to be, she's got to agree to it. And then we can move this forward up to the next step of 3 nurse practitioners and a doctor and nurse on the weekend for June, July, August, September. When I came here, we had 1 nurse practitioner 3 days a week. You can never have enough healthcare, in my opinion.
But
Just
my
to-
only question is, how does that correlate to a committee? Like, how do we suddenly have a committee? I mean, isn't that,
So I can provide some clarification. I do know that different communities create organizations to support their hospitals. I can speak to my past experience where it's a separate guild organization that fundraises and helps provide assistance for purchasing, beds, supplies, help push resources to the hospital or clinic. That being said, the one that I've seen, it's usually a committee of the community, and then they come to council with any recommendations or like assistance for leveraging the IDRHA.
so is this a separate committee and we have a representative of council attached to this committee? Like
Yeah, so if. so
similar
this-
to, I'll use COPP,
Yeah.
Citizens on Patrol. We become almost an ambassador, and that's not the right word. We really don't run the committee. We just sit there. We become a liaison or a conduit to council.
Mhm.
So we really don't, I don't know, I just trying to figure out the committee.
So,
I understand the benefits and I agree with the benefits and I think it's a marvelous idea. However, I just don't know how the committee functions.
so I have a very good rapport with them because of all the work I've done with them. And I told them I was thinking of bringing forward a committee. And they thought that was a wonderful idea for our community to help this thing along. Like, in my big plan, and now council's plan, if they're, oh, sorry,
No, go ahead.
No, continue,
No,
finish.
I'll wait till you're done.
there's more to come with this.
Granted.
And they like working with me because we work together good.
Granted, my whole thing was that, because I find a lot of the committees, like, an example, we have 3 or 4 health-related committees, including the Interlake, East Interlake Regional Health Authority. It's just like one more committee, and I'm not discrediting the committee, I think it probably does marvelous work, but I just want to just explain what the committee was, so now.
Yep, sorry.
So just to put it into perspective, Councillor Jarvis, in relation, so the Winnipeg Beach Historical Society, that's a community group that organized themselves, and then they came to council asking for somebody from council to sit on their committee. I'm not sure, well, I have a little bit of a better understanding now after Joe has explained that these are generally community-driven, not council-driven.
Like West Shore.
Yeah, so, because when they're community-driven, there's resources available to community-driven groups to apply for that council can't apply for, or they have access to grants that aren't necessarily matching grants. So, and I have some questions like, right now we're paying the rent, and we're paying the rent for nurse practitioners that other communities are using their services. Other communities, I think we get a bit of money from Denauder, but, if this is gonna expand, our taxpayers can't be expected to carry the burden of all of the expenses related to taking down a wall and, having extra space. I just don't think, now that it's been determined that there isn't a need and a use for nurse practitioners in this community, I'm not sure if our taxpayers should continue to be bearing any additional costs other than what we've originally committed to. At what point does the province or the private practitioners start taking over the cost for their own lease? I mean, my doctor's office in the city, my doctor pays the rent for her space, and, you know, I understand that this endeavor was done because we felt we needed to prove that the need was there. So it's been proven. When does the province or the practitioners start taking over the cost of the rent?
Well, I'm gonna say the practitioner probably won't, because it would be a big chunk out of her salary. It's not doctor's salary. Like, it's not even close to it. An auditor gives us $3,000 a year. Why don't we ask him? Some people from Gimli come there, why don't we ask Toulon? Some people from Toulon come, why don't we get some money from them?
So these are just things I'm saying we need to take into consideration and we need to think about. But the big thing being, normally these committees are driven by the community, not by council. So if there are people in the community that are interested in it, and want to approach council about having a council rep on it, but I'm not sure whether right now this is like, if it's our committee, what's it gonna cost us for administration? And, you know, does the town staff even have the time, the admin staff even have the time to be supporting a committee, a medical clinic committee that's town driven?
I think you're up before me.
Unless you wanted to answer that. I understand the concept of the committee now they got it. And I said West Shore Community Foundation, and I like the concept of the committee. I think it's good. I think it's something, but I believe, like the West Shore, like even, I guess I'm gonna say the Evergreen, these are committees driven by community members. And then if we have somebody sit on that, then I think that's good, because and it never dawned on me. I mean, I think that we could probably absorb some costs, because I agree, there's a need. We have a need, and we know that. But I think what we need is we need to send it out to the community as well and find out if we can get people that are actually interested in doing this. I think it's great that we're doing it. I think it's great that you talk to these people, and good on you, but it's what. Yeah, it's one, well, good on you, good on us. It's one thing that, you know, man, we got a lot on our plate, you know what I mean? If we can get people involved, like COPP has never been able to get off the ground because we can't get it community driven, and you know what I mean? And that's a crime prevention. So, and I understand the concept of, and I agree wholeheartedly with both yourself and with Councillor Gendron, get this thing up and go. If we can get some people in the community that want to get involved in this, heck, I'll sit on the committee, I don't care.
Sorry, Jody.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that if council wishes, they could change the wording of the resolution to direct a member of council to, you know, engage the public in the creation of it, if council so chooses.
Okay, so.
Versus
did you hand
creating
up?
a
Sorry.
committee.
Yeah, no, well, and just based on what's happened today, to me, it would only seem logical that Mayor Cotton, if that's the way we're gonna go,
Yeah, I don't have a problem
community
with it.
engagement and for the benefit of the committee, that it's clear that it's a community-driven committee, so that they'll have access to financing that we wouldn't have as a council.
Yeah.
The only financing we need is rent. The health authority picks up 100% of everything else,
Including the renovations,
not the renovations.
so that's.
Wendy picks that up, and that comes out in the rent.
So we would be so we would be looking at an
Called
increase
leasehold
in rent.
improvements. Yeah.
But.
It's similar to Councillor Belanger's thing, is that once we got the committee, then, and Councillor Gendron's expressed it, the committee itself can solicit funds that we're unable to attack.
And that then the town may not be on the hook for additional
Exactly,
rent.
marvelous idea, and we need to go ahead with that.
I don't know if I'd go so far as to say on the hook. We were voted the #1 rural health clinic in Manitoba last year.
Mhm.
Like, it's a big deal,
And with all
to
due
have
respect-
more healthcare is not a bad thing. It's a good
And
thing.
with all due respect, Mayor Cotton, as I said, I don't know where we draw the line on how much the taxpayers of Winnipeg Beach are responsible for versus either other communities or a community-driven committee that does fundraising and grant money to help pay the rent.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and I thank you for your work that you put into this before we brought the council here. I know there is a great concern for it. I myself tried to get into Gimli Hospital about 2 weeks ago, and there was no doctor on staff, so came back the next day and got all my stuff done. But we have committees. We have probably a dozen committees that we're represented on, that one of these councillors attends to, and attends to the meetings. And I feel this is a committee as well, and that we should be staffed with either the mayor or one other person, a chair and a co-chair, so be it. The same as the other committees. And it's a great thing for Winnipeg Beach, where we can get another practitioner here, or whatever, another 2 practitioners is fantastic. And that'll lessen the burden on Gimli Hospital. Gimli might throw in, we got other RMs that are throwing into the pot right now. So I say, well, let's go for it. Let's put 1 or 2 members on this committee.
Does anybody else have their hand up that I didn't see? Good. We have a dire need. I just happened to be at the doctor today for a pre-op. And I said, so, is this really required? She says, I'm so far behind. Flu season really set them back. She said, of course, more help is better. And I also talked to the CEO of Interlake Eastern Interlake, I'm going to get it backwards. And they've noticed when this picked up that winter, when we went to 5 days a week, their numbers dropped off in Selkirk and Gimli. Because, and that was my sell to them when I was trying to sell them, was 5 days a week. And I said, it's going to it leaves some of the burden on the emergency rooms. And that's what we're doing. And plus, there's quite a few elderly here. I'm one of them. We're getting more all the time. So, of course, it's something I like. So, of course, I don't mind putting money in. But I mean, it's up to all of us. It's not to me. Go ahead.
Have they already started on the leasehold improvements for the clinic?
Oh, of course not.
So are they waiting on our approval, or how's that working?
Well, they're waiting on their new director. It starts April 28th, but they're sure she's on board because they've already given it to her.
Okay, now the only reason I say it is because my original question was, what is the committee? Because I'd never seen the committee. So theoretically, the committee is separate from the actual leasehold improvements and bringing in extra people. The committee is just a separate thing.
Well,
I'm not here to say, Stan, don't get the doctors. I'm not here to say, Stan, don't get the nurses. I'm all for that.
Yeah,
I just wanted to know what the committee was about, and what I don't want to do is that, and I understand what everybody's saying, is I don't want to suddenly be held responsible for something that we're creating new work for ourselves. If all we do is just say, hey, let's agree to expand it, to get in more people, and that's a resolution. But this says that we want to start a committee. So.
and I've explained.
Yeah, no, I understand the committee. That was my original question.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's good that if like the West Shore, like Evergreen, like COPP, if we get the Historical Society, like we contributed funds to the Historical Society, and they fixed the caboose, and I was, for 2 years I was saying the caboose is falling apart, and now it's fixed, but that was all done with volunteer work and a lot of community involvement.
Absolutely. I'm not against that. Don't take that. Back home we had and this isn't back home, but we had a doctor retention program with all 5 municipalities. We put 1.5 million in it a year. And so that's from 5 municipalities. So that brings the cost down, but a lot greater than we can bear, of course. And they have to give us a 10-year commitment. We'll put them through school to be a doctor. Mm-hmm. And now they've come back, started businesses, families, their wives have started businesses, their husbands have started businesses. I'm not saying we put 250 grand in it. I mean, no. But it does help the community. When somebody comes here, they say, you got any health care? Like, what is it? Well, a 3 nurse practitioners.
We're miles ahead of where we were before. I never had that before.
Yeah. I think it's great, and whoever started this and whatever council started this, I think that they need a pat on the
We've been
back.
talking about expanding it, and good, it's being expanded, and that's great. You had something on the resolution that you were saying you wanted to change it?
So the resolution before council right now is to approve the creation of a committee that would be organized by council. If council wishes to choose, I would recommend making a decision on if you want it to be a council-driven committee. And then we could do a follow-up resolution after that. If you decide not to have it as a committee of council, that you would like it to be a community-driven committee and assign a councillor to engage and help formate and foster that committee group, we could do a separate resolution after this one.
Yeah,
Okay with that?
yeah, I just think that if it's a community-driven committee, it's gonna have
Better
more resources available to it to help. Doesn't mean we stop helping. The committee would come to us and say, this is what we're requesting to support the clinic. I mean, we are committed to the rent, and then, which we already know we're committed to, but then the committee could come to us and say, okay, this is what we've raised, this is additional support, this is what's going on, and they will have access to money that we won't as a council. So I would like to suggest that we have Mayor Potton work to get a community committee going, and that he be the town rep. And once the committee is going, if he feels there's need for a second rep, that he can come back to council asking for a second rep, and then this isn't being delayed.
Can we use your resolution and include Mayor Potton's name in it? The way you read that? Is everybody okay with that about?
Let's figure out if we're okay with that, because
Yeah.
I'm okay if I don't do it, but somebody's gotta do
Well,
it from in here.
Apparently you're getting results, so I vote on you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if I'm not mistaken, the way this reads, this would be a council
But,
committee.
but
Change it to be a community.
Jody said she was gonna
Yeah,
change the resolution.
Yeah, I would recommend we, like,
Let this defeat.
I would recommend letting it defeat if this is the intention of council, and then I can prepare a resolution that appoints
And we can
Mayor
nominate
Potton.
Mayor Potton.
Yeah,
To engage the
See, when
community.
I first started this, when I said council committee, I meant 2 people off the council. I didn't mean the whole council, because if
No, it's.
Mr. Potton got sick, we have a rep for co-chair.
Okay,
That was-
so you would like,
That's the
so
only thing I was.
how you're envisioning it now, you would like a second so that if you.
If I couldn't make it, or.
Yeah, okay.
And that's what I was thinking
Okay.
originally. And yes, I'm all for the community committee, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like all the other committees, you got a chair and a co-chair,
Yeah, chair and
Yeah,
co-chair.
and
in
there-
case one.
I'll be
can't.
co-chair.
Well,
Yeah.
let's get there first.
hold on, my concern is if a member of council is a chair and another member of council is a co-chair,
Bingo.
grant committees may not look at it as a community-driven
Right.
committee.
I would recommend that you appoint 2 members of council to help facilitate the creation of it, not necessarily giving them the title of chair and co-chair. That would be the determination of that committee at the time. What avenue the council is going to be involved. We're just merely giving authorization for certain members of council to, grow that committee.
Everybody likes that idea?
I like
Okay,
it.
so you'll have to still go through the first one.
Just, you wanted this defeated, right?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Yeah, all in favor?
What was that?
We're gonna defeat this one, and she's gonna make the
I'll
CEO's
make
gonna
a
make a new one.
So she'll make it.
Defeated.
Oh, sorry,
You gonna do that right now?
Yeah.
I'm sure not gonna say carried because it was
No,
defeated.
and then you say against?
Oh, we're, against,
Against.
we're all
Yeah.
against it.
Yeah, still just for
Defeated.
purposes. Okay,
Keep me straight, because I never will.
that's, okay. Just give me a moment to
Yeah.
draft that resolution.
Done it.
So I prepared a draft resolution. It reads, be it resolved that council authorize Mayor Potten and blank, if you wanted to have a secondary member of council, to assist and support the creation of a community volunteer medical committee.
Okay, should we appoint one now?
We'll do a mover and a secondary.
Okay, so we, no, but I mean, for this, well, that's what the blank's for.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
So, you want to ask for a mover?
Yeah, I'm just, oh, that's a new resolution.
Yeah.
Mover. I got nowhere to write it.
Okay, who would you like it to be?
Larry.
Larry, okay.
Seconder?
Jean? Okay. Okay. And did we want to just leave Mayor Potten to support and assist the creation of the committee, or did council want a secondary member of council?
I wouldn't mind a secondary. How's everybody else?
Sure. Sure.
Good. Who wants to be the Grand Master?
I can, if nobody else wants to.
Anybody else interested? Okay.
Okay, so I've got Mayor Potten and Deputy Mayor Poole
Oh, yeah.
to assist in support the creation of the Community Volunteer Medical Committee. Okay, you want to call to question?
All in favor? Yes.
Carried. Okay, back to normal resolutions.
Oh, good. I'll stumble my way through this one. Okay, I have a question on this one. It has two requests here from the same organization.
Those are the attachments.
Oh.
That's the resolution.
Agenda item 10.2, 2025 Western Canadian Blind Golf Championships sponsorship request. Whereas the town of Waunapik Beach has received a request for sponsorship, therefore be resolved that the council of the town of Waunapik Beach authorize sponsorship level to the amount of, can I get a mover, please? Oh, Barry, sorry.
Okay.
Second. Discussion on this one? Oh,
Yeah, I think maybe we should table this until we come up with all our donations, which should be done once a year.
Which makes sense. Yeah.
Have a meeting on the donation. And we're going through this.
All in favor to table it?
Sorry, can I just ask a question?
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. Was there a deadline for this? When's the event?
Not on my fair, not
I
on my
think they're in
fair.
July.
Yeah,
July 6th to July
Yeah,
10th.
okay.
Yeah, we would have time
So at
to.
any time, yeah, you'll have lots of time to prepare.
Yeah.
That's that cut?
It's at the table.
Oh, I said tabled on there. Didn't we all agree?
Nobody voted.
Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Of tabling?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
I'm giving me $1,000. So I've already got that.
Okay.
All in favor? Holy man, there's a lot of them. Agenda item 10.3, DFA information webinar. Be it hereby resolved that the council approve to attend the Manitoba Disaster Financial Assistance Program Changes webinar being held virtually on, with no registration fee or out-of-pocket expenses and travel per diem applicable. Have I got a mover, please?
You just read or tell me and
Oh.
I can do it also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, done. Second? There. Any discussion?
So there are 3 dates.
Yeah, I can certainly look at one. Yeah, April 7th, probably.
I was gonna ask where it is, but it doesn't matter, it's a webinar. Go ahead.
Does it make sense that someone from administration attend the webinar?
Our emergency measures coordinator is attending this session, and he'll be briefing administration.
saying April 7th.
Yeah.
April 7th.
Yeah, this is April 9th. so-
That was 2 days ago,
Oh,
Councilor
jeez.
Hall.
I think I'm awake. Okay,
1914.
let me do the 16th then. I don't have my calendar.
Who's your emergency managers?
Dawn Eames until the training
Dawn
is
Eames.
done. She's still in training.
Anybody else interested in this one? I'm good as long as there's somebody from council on here.
We can get a briefing
16th.
from Councilor Hall afterwards.
Yeah, 6, I'm on the emergency thing anyway.
Yeah.
Call for the vote.
All here. So we have to put Barry's name in there?
Yeah,
Reread
I think she's doing
it.
that over
just
there.
give me one
Okay,
moment.
sorry, let me have it.
That's okay. Should be on.
Okay, when I said it.
What day?
So
April 16th.
the April 8th date's out.
Yeah, April 16th. Wednesday, April 16th at 12 noon.
I thought maybe you had a DeLorean or something. You go back.
Yeah.
Good.
It's been a
All
long-
in favor?
It's been a long day, buddy.
Yes, carried. Agenda item 10.4, 2025 wildfire seminar. Be it hereby resolved that the council approve to attend the 2025 wildfire seminar hosted by Manitoba Transportation Infrastructure to be held virtually on from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. with no registration fee or out-of-pocket expenses, travel per diem applicable. That's applicable, especially
Yeah, it's just a
this way it
generic.
comes, yeah.
Yeah.
Mover, please. I'm talking over here, nobody, how do you live? Doug? Seconder? Dean? Discussion? I guess it's self-explanatory, it's about wildfire.
Yeah, and I believe we already have, the department, looped in on this seminar.
Like the fire.
Yeah, thank you, fire department.
So we're good, discussions?
Yeah.
Call for
I've
vote.
done.
Call for the vote?
So just.
Oh, sorry.
No, so we're not sending anybody? We're fine with the fire? Is John Ames going to this as well?
This
I would-
one,
I would imagine so.
yeah,
Is Public Works gonna go?
I
this
think it's
one
fire.
wouldn't be applicable for them.
No?
Yeah,
So just fire department? So then we're not,
There-
we're not sending any, nobody's attending?
this would only be for if council wanted to attend.
It doesn't look like anyone wants to.
We're good, call for the vote.
Sending nobody?
Yeah,
This one.
Yeah. I vote for nobody.
Carried. Excuse me. Agenda item 10.5, 2025, residential retreat sponsorship request. Whereas the town of Winnipeg Beach has received a request for sponsorship, therefore be it resolved that the council of the town of Swan River, Winnipeg Beach, town of Winnipeg Beach, sorry, the amount, sponsorship level in the amount to the University of Manitoba Department of Family Medicine. Does that all make sense to you guys, the way I read that?
Yeah.
Have a mover, please. Seconder? Bear. Oops, sorry.
No, that's okay.
I should put it
believe,
here.
yeah, I believe last year we passed on this because we don't have any medical doctors here, and we do support healthcare in the community through the rent for the clinic. That was what we did last year?
Yep, that's exactly what we did.
Yeah, we passed on
Because
this.
we sponsor,
We
we sponsor
rent
the
medical-
healthcare
Yeah,
already.
we sponsor our nurse practitioners. We don't have medical doctors in our community.
Okay. All in favor?
same as last year? Yeah.
Oh, same as last year.
Zero,
I was
it would
gonna
be a
say,
zero.
Yeah, we're already
donation,
committed
yeah.
financially to that. And
Same
maybe
as
more.
last year, because I don't know what it was.
Zero.
Oh, okay. If we didn't do it last year, I guess it would be there. Agenda item 10.6, Evergreen Trustees Meet and Greet. Be it hereby resolved that the council is approved to attend the meet and greet with Evergreen Trustees being held at the Lakeview Hotel in Gimli on May 5th, 2025, from 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. with no registration fee, out-of-pocket expenses, and travel per diem are applicable. Mover, please. Oh, over here. Seconder. Discussion. Yes.
Is there an RSVP required? Because if there is, I'm not able to attend. So if you're going to be.
Yeah, I believe there was.
There is.
Yeah.
We sent 3 people last year. Larry, I went,
That's it.
Mayor Jackson went. Did you go as well, Mike? Yeah. Yeah, I've already, it came to me on my computer, so I already responded yes, because I've been to every year so far.
That's fine, then I can look after RSVP myself. I see the email there, address there, RSVP.
Yeah, it should have come through on your computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to clarify, all members of council received
Yeah.
paper.
So anybody can go.
invites.
So I've already,
From council,
yeah, I already said I would go. And imagine, Larry, you're going again? Yeah, you're going, right? Yeah.
I'm gonna go because I've never been there. But I know a lot of people from Evergreen, so I'd like to go.
Well, it's a school division.
Oh, Evergreen School, that was the EBN.
Yeah, it's a
I'll
school
still
division
go.
meeting.
They still have their
On
buses
their
here.
agenda, their curriculum, blah, blah, blah.
We're
good,
in
it's
the
good meeting.
Evergreen School Division.
But yeah, it's, yeah, we're part of it.
Sure.
Are you going?
Yeah, all of it.
So, everybody but Jean.
Yeah, so the resolution is just worded, open to all of council. If council is comfortable with RSVPing themselves, I'll let council members do that.
Everybody good?
Yeah, good.
Okay.
So
Go
you're
for-
not, sorry, you're not gonna do it then, Jody, we just do it ourselves then? Ours, okay.
Yeah, I'll let
So
you,
you're
I'll
good
let
there.
everyone, if you would like me to RSVP, please let me know.
I'm good.
Okay, throw mine in, please. Are you invited to this? Did you see that?
No, it's for council.
Council. Yeah, everybody comes from our board down.
Call for the vote.
All in favor?
Carried. Agenda item 10.7, Madeline's Closet Silent Auction Donation Request. Whereas the town of Winnipeg Beach has received a request for a donation, therefore it be resolved that the council for the town of Winnipeg Beach authorize a silent auction donation in the amount of to Madeline's Closet Inc. for the annual summertime jamboree on June 21st, 2025. Mover, please. Seconder. Discussion.
We have our town credit cards are Avion Point cards, and we have I believe, a fairly significant balance of points. And I'm wondering if council would be in favor of administration creating a policy to purchase gift certificates and things using the points for requests like this. And perhaps having maybe 10 or 12 on hand at all times, so that when we get a request, we can just direct administration to respond with a gift certificate from what we have.
I'm good with that.
How much we got?
I don't have that information right in front of me. I would have to look into that and get back to council.
All in favor?
Uh,
I didn't know anybody else had.
No, sorry, but we still need to set a dollar limit, and
Oh,
I
right.
don't, if without the policy, I mean, could this be amended to say via an Avion Points purchase, and then proceed later with the policy?
What I would recommend is that you put in a dollar amount for this. Administration can utilize points for this specific donation and then prepare a policy after to come to council.
Yeah, good.
Now, and are they looking for a donation or, and I think the gift service is a great idea, but are they looking for a cash or are they just looking for any sort of a donation?
Well, that's, to me, that's the same as cash.
I actually will be recusing myself from any votes on Madeline's Closet moving forward. I can provide information, but I now sit on their board. They are looking for a prize. This is one of
Prize as in?
two jamborees that they do in support of the Aboriginal communities in the Interlake. And so we just have a dollar value attached to a prize. They're looking for a prize donation.
Of cash value.
Well, no, we set the cash value.
Oh,
as
okay, so they
council.
actually want like
They actually
a
want.
microwave
Yeah,
oven.
they want a gift, they want a prize to put in.
Yeah, that's what I was
the
driving
donation.
at, yeah.
Yeah.
So we would purchase a prize that would be applicable and it would have a dollar value that we would agree on.
We would agree on the dollar value,
Correct.
and as Jody said, she will
Okay.
purchase something off with using Avion points, and then we'll proceed with the
Perfect.
policy for this.
So I'll throw out 250.
What did we do last year? Because I have.
I don't think, we always donated a month's rent. We never really gave them, they didn't have one last year.
So this is separate from that.
I know, but
Yeah.
we've never had this before.
No.
This is good.
This is new.
Okay.
Should this also be?
Didn't we do like
maybe-
250 for the curling club and all that? I thought it was you that came up with the 250.
I can't remember last week. A couple of years ago.
You can't remember last week.
Maybe this should be tabled under again our donations that we give to everybody once we start our donations.
No.
Unless they got a time limit on here.
This isn't a grant
Yeah, this
application
is
request.
just
It's
a, we do
grant.
donations all the
Yeah,
time.
it's the grant requests.
Yeah, like we did donation
Yeah.
$300 for that Hudson Bay thing last meeting.
Yeah, this isn't a grant request.
It, 250, I stand, jump in, what
Yeah,
dollar
I
amount?
don't have an idea of dollar value, like, if user used to get a 250
I'm
or
just
500.
piggybacking on Larry because he always throws out 250, so I'm just jumping on his boat.
So Larry, what do you think?
Sure.
Is everybody in favor of this?
250 is good? You recused?
I'm recusing myself
Okay.
from
Is
any
that
decision.
certificates, Doug? Councilor, certificates,
It will be in
Mention.
certificates, yes.
Yeah.
not a cash donation.
It'll be,
No,
yeah,
it will
a
be
gift certificate.
Gift certificate, or an item.
Yeah.
Up with a $250
Correct.
value should be.
Up to
purchased.
250.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a silent auction
You okay with
donation,
that?
up to 250.
Call for the vote, Turner.
I'm good on 250.
Sorry, I have
You-
one more question
Oh.
for the vote. How does it get recorded that I've recused myself? Do we have to go to a recorded
Recorder
vote?
movement.
A recorded vote, so that it's recorded that I recused myself from the vote?
So what I will do is, so just to clarify, you're declaring a conflict of interest on this matter?
I am.
Okay. So I will put forward a note before the resolution that you declared a conflict of interest and did not vote on this matter. And then I will put a note after the resolution that will bring you back to the meeting
Okay.
to proceed.
Okay, all in favor then? It's up to you. Okay, carried. And you've got Gene's out of it in there, right? Item 10.8, mayoral by-election, 2025 SEO report. Be resolved that the council of the town of Oregon Beach accepts the senior election officials mayoral by-election 2025 report as presented. Mover, please. There's Larry. Larry's the second. Discussion, sorry, I can throw back.
Yeah,
We're all good?
I'm good.
All in favor? Carried. Agenda item number 10.9, Fire Department truck purchase. Whereas the town of Winnipeg Beach was successful in the Manitoba GRO grant application for the fire department fleet replacement project, therefore be it resolved that the council authorize the purchase of a used 2017 Ford F-150 XL for $33,000 plus applicable taxes. We should have had pickup. Should have had pickup or something in there to show that it's a half ton, not a fire truck. I'm just gonna write pickup. How's that for you? Mover, please. Doug, seconder. Mary. Discussion.
I think it's fine.
We're all good?
I'm good.
Okay. Call for the question. All in favor? Carried. Agenda item 12.7, committee reports approval. Be resolved that council accept the committee reports as presented. Mover, please. Seconder? Me? Discussion. This is, you don't want to be in this one. Correct?
No.
Okay.
Councilor Holt has sent it.
Oh, okay.
You know, before we used to get reports quite frequently. I'm just wondering, as of late, we don't seem to be getting reports.
It's the second meeting in a row.
Yeah.
Oh, now I got
So I can speak on that matter. I am in the process of implementing reminders to ensure that these reports come to council. I don't know what was established in the past, but going forward, there will be a system in place to ensure that the first meeting of each month, the prior month's report will be presented.
Because it's a good tool for us to communicate with taxpayers as well.
Absolutely.
it. Go ahead.
And I'm not sure of the terminology, but I thought it was part of the committee of the whole. So somebody, and I'll defer to Barry or Jean about this committee of the whole. I thought that was once a month that they brought all these reports to the thing. Am I wrong on that? What's the concept of committee of the whole? Help me.
Committee, so committee of the whole is for council's information. It was decided so committee of the whole means that no decisions are made at that council meeting. It is strictly just for
Oh, okay.
informational and gathering purposes, which from past meetings, it ended up becoming that it was more of like a regular council meeting where resolutions were wanting to be passed versus once a month.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with committee reports. The actual, not committee, but the,
No,
so you're saying the first of every month, the first
Correct.
meeting in every month,
yeah,
we should have these reports, and
Yep.
that's the way they used to be.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I'm looking at Dean, but you've been
Yeah.
in more meetings than me.
yeah,
So I concur with Councilor Hu. I think we need to have these.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, and that is on administration's radar.
Any other discussion? Good. Call for a vote.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Accepted.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks. I wrote it under the wrong thing.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Carried. Agenda item 13.2, council committee and board reports approval. Be it hereby resolved that council approves the council committee and board reports as presented. Have a mover. Seconder? Larry. Discussion? Gabriel?
Oh, I was at, I was at two committee meetings. One was the Selkirk Weed Control Board. Everything was normal. I mean, obviously they're just getting off the ground. I spoke a bit about it the last time, but the one thing that was current, we have Kristen Pinator, who is the botanist scientist, the weed control supervisor, her contract has been renewed, and we are a contributor to the board because they look after, they spray Larry Moore Park and they spray the public works yard, so we, and parts of the highway. Her contract has been renewed for another 3 years, so to 2028. And this woman is, to put it fabulous. She's got all kinds of degrees behind her name, and she's been in it since 2014. So she'll be 14 years then as a supervisor of the weed control board, which is good for us. The other one that I went to, both the deputy mayor and myself, we went to the recreational, it's got an acronym, so whatever, for all the rec committees, all the rec managers and that. It was a good meeting. It was a lot of people are doing different things. The theme of this one was based on insurance and liability, and we explored this in the fall of the AMM conference in Brandon a year ago. I think it was, the spring in Brandon. There's copious liability issues when you deal with a municipality, an RM or whatever, and everything from playgrounds to sidewalks and back. And the one thing that was impressed upon us, and in the past we've always kind of indirectly made fun of the country south of us regarding their litigious way of life, and I guess one of the things they impressed upon us was Canada's becoming the same way. So, and I mentioned it when we came back from Brandon a year ago. And I know we sent out Public Works and a few people to some of the playgrounds and that, but we have to be really, 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 really diligent in making sure that all of our T's are crossed and our I's are dotted when it comes to our responsibility for liability, whether it's walking down Main Street or whether it's swinging on the swings at Beachside Park. But we have to be very, and I mean diligent to look after this, because it's just becoming more and more of a concern. And we've talked about things with reference to, and they did, about festivals. We brought up things about, and we've had this in the past about and I don't know if third party management is the way to describe it, but even when we have something simple as a festival or we have boardwalk days, that there's components, there's people that play within the sphere of that festival, that we have to make sure that from our perspective, because our name is on the advertisement, that we have to be, again, that we're covered, that we're diligent in our behavior. So, and that, I think in a future meeting, not right, that maybe we should talk about some of this stuff, is that, what I intended on making contact with Western Financial. They are our provider, insurance provider, is that to make sure that we're doing what we need to do and we're covered. And that was really the gist of it, is that they're pressing upon us now that this is becoming a concern out there. So that's all I've got to say about that. You like Forrest Gump? That's all I got to say about that.
That's it for discussions? You're good?
Yeah. Are we allowed to talk about anything else other than committees?
It says council committee and board reports approval.
Okay.
Oh, did you have your hand up? Sorry.
No.
Okay.
Scratch your head.
Well, I caught just a glimpse of it.
Are we allowed to talk about anything, like even the boardwalk days parade or any of that stuff? No? Okay. I'm looking to you for guidance on this. Come on. Jump in. Okay, then I have nothing to say.
Well, wouldn't that be under roundtable discussions?
Isn't that under committee though?
It's under council committee.
Yeah, so it's the same thing,
I have
yeah.
no idea.
Yeah. I don't want to circumvent procedure. Okay, I'm done.
Everybody's good to go? Call for the vote.
All in favor? Did I do okay there?
You agree?
Okay, thank you.
have no
This is-
correspondence for council for this meeting.
This is wrong.
I have no correspondence for
To
this
accept
meeting.
correspondence. We have no resolution.
Yeah, next one is to go in camera.
Okay, so 13.1, there was nothing. Like no,
No, 14-1.
no, here's where I am. I got 13.2 here. And I got, come on,
Probably gonna talk about the pumpkin growing.
12.7. So I went
So
right.
that would have been, that's that one.
Okay.
Cameras.
That's council meeting, it says, but,
Yeah, that's just
Red
the
liter
header.
water.
And
Oh, okay,
then
so
we
it's
talked
this
about
one.
it, so
Drink more,
yeah.
okay.
So, yeah.
I was thinking-
I drink a gallon every day, then they put me in a chair.
okay. Correspondence.
Yeah, we have no correspondence.
Okay, so that's why that's not in here?
You bet.
Okay. 15.1, in camera. Be it hereby resolved, the council moves in camera at, oh, yeah, that's right on the dot, eh? Discuss legal matters, and be it further resolved that any matters discussed while on camera will be held confidential until such time as discussed in open council. Mover? Seconder? Larry? No, sorry, Barry. I guess there's no discussion, we're going in there.
No, run camera. I'm going to watch.
All those in favor?
All those in favor? I sort of thought so.
Okay, there we go, we've got camera, I'll open up the door. Okay. There we go.
Didn't she say she unplugged something over there? Angie? Oh, I thought she said she did.
No, we're good, we've got audio, we've got visual.
Okay, we're good to go.
Yep.
Agenda item 15.2, out of camera. Be it hereby resolved that council moves out of camera at
8:42.
and resumes the regular meeting of council. Oh, mover. Seconder. All in favor? Oh, excuse me. I'm taking it we have nothing to speak about. We're just going to adjourn the meeting. Okay, just checking just in case I'm missing something. Agenda item 16, adjournment. Be it hereby resolved that council adjourns the April 9th, 2025 regular meeting at
8:43.
43. All in favor? Carried. Carried.
Mover?
Oh, sorry, I did that.
Yep.
I think the first time on that.
Yep.
Mover. Okay, seconder. Carried. That's all? Did I
Yep.
miss any more?
Nope, you're good. That was the only one?
That's it. So I'll show you pencil.
Okay, I'll just ask the phone, did you?
Yep.